Alright, GM guys. So this is how I lost money trading NZD Okay. Now I am just going to be marking out what I did and then what eventually happened and how I reacted to the loss that I took. So basically we already know that as Forex traders there is bound to be losses. Okay, there is no holy grail. There is no one strategy that you get and you say this one that you can never see loss again. No, there is nothing like that. There are actually losses, but it's the compounding that matters. It's how you deal now with those losses that is actually the very important thing. All right, so this was NZD and this trade, actually I waited for this trade for quite a long time before I even looked taking the trade. All right, so but I'm just going to be explaining now how I did everything and still I took a loss. Alright, so already I've mapped out that I'm on a downtrend from my height time frame, from my 4 hour time frame. That's major structure. Alright, I've mapped out that I'm on a downtrend right here. So at this point now, I identified my break of structure. Okay, I identified my order block right here. I mapped out my internal liquidities. Okay, because if you watch here, this is a liquidity zone. Liquidity I'll still discuss further, but it's orders basically, where money lies in the market, where there are orders set. Okay, so I mapped out my internal liquidity and other confluences. Now my order block has already been set. My entry at the midpoint, okay, because I already told you in refinement of entry, I refined my order block to pick the 50% zone. So it was actually from this first entry point here that I picked that entry, from this first, keeping my stop loss slightly above. Alright, so this was actually where I picked this entry from. Just targeting this point now because I'm not trying to be greedy. It's not my market. The market will come back tomorrow and I'll take my trade. Alright, so this was exactly what I did. And then I waited. Then the market came down to this half point now and then started reversing. But due to the fact that I was inactive during this session, okay, this is not my this was not the time I was very active on the charts. Okay, I just set the orders and I left. Alright, so this was what the market did now. The market eventually came and filled up this fair value gap it left here. Okay, picking up momentum. Also, it filled this fair value gap right here. At some point, I was starting to think that we're already reversing to the upside. Okay, but I still had hope in the setup. Alright, so the market now started reversing. And then at this point now, it took me out, okay, impulsively for that matter. It took me out impulsively. So when I came back, I was now reanalyzing what actually happened. Like, why was I taken out of this trade? Okay. And after reanalyzing now, I noticed one thing. Firstly is this could be a breaker block. This could be a reclaimed block. Okay, I've already been taken out, but I can still retake my entry from here. Now, secondly, one thing I actually found out is we might have changed trend. All right. So what I've emphasizing since is do not go against the trend. Okay, if it's a downtrend, follow the downtrend. So I identified something. I might be against the trend. Okay, in the sense that look, this was the low here that broke the structure. But now market has actually broken that structure now and closed above. So there is a high possibility that we are already in an uptrend. Okay, so that's one thing that occurred in this part that I figured. That was why I took a loss on this trade. Okay, so eventually the market still came back down. All right, filling in all these areas now, taking out all these areas of liquidity now. Also here, as you can see, even if I had decided now to even take a buy entry from here, still I would still take a loss from this zone. I will still take a loss because watch it, I was used as liquidity and there was nothing I could do. I usually don't set my stop loss very wide as such, but then you can see the market came and cleared every single thing. So even if yes, I am say okay, now we are now on an uptrend. I'm now to buy. Let me take my entry from here. I will still be taking out and I will still be in a loss. All right, I'll still be in a losing position. So this is basically what I did, and I think my mistake was I was against the trend, or so to say, I analyzed for a downtrend, but the market took me out and I went against the trend. Okay, and then as you can see now, it retested on this area of value, and furthermore, it kept going up. It has not broken this low since. So, and as you can see, it has broken the highs. So practically now, the market is on a downtrend, is on an uptrend. So when I took my trade was when it was shifting. All right, so when the market was shifting from an uptrend to a downtrend. So that's basically the mistakes I made, or basically the things I identified that were the issues with this trade, so that as you're making your analysis, you look well so as not to be against the trend. I've been saying since being against the trend is one mistake a trader can make, in the sense that when you buy, it sells, when it sells, it buys. All right. So be attentive to your market structure and try to avoid my mistakes. All right. If you know that you're probably not going to be very active and you don't have confirmation on that trade, wait a bit, okay, react to what the market is doing, and then you can now take your own trade. All right, so I think this is basically what I did, and it was it was a lesson for me to learn from. All right, so it was a lesson for me to learn from, and yes, I actually did learn something from there. All right, so go and make your own research and try to be perfect, although nobody can be perfect, sure, but make your own research and you can take your trades very well.